And I'm delighted now to be joined here by Steve Harley. Steve, welcome to Belfast.
Thank you, yeah, nice, always good to be here.
Do you come over to Northern Ireland quite regularly?
Well, only if I like to, on tour, yeah. We played the Waterside a couple of years ago and various places, yeah.
Great. And now, you've got a new album out. First of all, give us the plug.
Stranger Comes to Town. Yeah, new album. Yeah, first one for 5 years. They tell you it's so difficult writing them these days, coming up with new songs, the songs that you're proud to put on an album, let's put it that way.
So, and obviously you're pleased with the result. A lot of effort put in. Songs written over a considerable period of time, or?
Yeah, well, I decided to book the studio about a year before we went in the studio. So it gave me a year to go through all the many, would have said tapes, but today I write on mini disc, So the many hours and many hours of recording at home of bits of songs, and I spent 6 months going through them. The thing with me is I'm a committed kind of person in that if I say September we're in the studio, we go in the studio. I don't put it back. I don't bottle it. I just have this, my personality is such that I've just got it in the diary, I will be there. It comes from early training as a young journalist. You do a story, a feature, and the editor wants it in 4 days' time at 11 a.m. When do you do it? 4 days' time, and at 10 a.m. you write it for 11 a.m. And I'm still like that, but I do meet my deadlines.
Yeah, so
by the last minute.
You've inherited that from your time in journalism, and just did you obviously enjoyed those years when you were working as a reporter?
Well, I enjoyed them when I was learning. I got out. I was only 21, close to 22, and I just got tired of hurting people, even in local journalism. I was on a weekly paper in East London, and you go to court. I'd spend all day in Bow Magistrates Court, and you'd have to write about shoplifting and committed by a woman in her mid-50s who's menopausal. And let's forgive, hey guys, let's forgive. And you've got an editor saying, we have to write it. And I'd say, well, no, we don't. She's got neighbours, and she's got a daughter and children and grandchildren. And it's a moment of madness from hormone movement, But some editors insist on it, and mine did, and I just got tired of that's just hurting people. There's nothing gained from it.
Yeah. And so then obviously concentrated on the music full time, and a lot of success there, and going back in the 70s with a number one with Come Up to See Me, and must have been great days.
Yeah, the 70s were fantastic, sort of mayhem. Yeah, I mean, I prefer touring now. Back then, it was so self-indulgent. You just travelled in limousines and threw tellies out the window and off balconies, and it was daft. It's just a waste. No one ever made any money, and don't know, someone got it all. But now, we still travel in style and stay in good places, and my band are all men of a certain age. I don't want to surround myself by 22-year-olds to make me look good, I don't do that. Some of them are older than me. So we're all men of a certain age with children that are grown and grown up, I should say. And yeah, I come here and I go to the botanical gardens when my 3 hours to spare. I don't sit in a hotel doing nothing in Belfast, We're on our way to Edinburgh. And we'll go to the 2 or 3 of us will go to the National Gallery in the park, in the Castle Park. It's a good life. You got to get out and enjoy it. Otherwise, touring can be the death of you. It can ruin people.
And you were saying there just before we started this interview that you've just started this tour. So this is, I think, the second date.
Yeah, this Belfast. Yeah, it's the big Dublin, then Belfast, and then we're off on a big roll then.
And how are things going in these early days?
There's a lot of lyrics to learn from 9 new songs, and I'm doing 6 of them on stage. There's a lot of learning to do. It comes with practice, and night after night it gets easier, I guess. That's what I've always told myself. Somehow it comes together. I've got a brilliant team around me of professionals, and it all works.
Brilliant. We're certainly looking forward to hearing it later on. And just, what about the inspiration for the new album? Where do the songs come from? Do you set time aside, or there's flashes of inspiration from here, there, and everywhere?
Well, there's flashes, and it works on all levels. I'm not a 9 till 5 like some novelists. They start at 9 and they finish at 4 or 5. I don't do that. I'm in the rock and roll business. That's why we're in it. It's, you know, we don't like strict rules and boundaries. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough to write when you get older, to say something worth saying. So I thought, while I was mucking around getting nowhere for month after month after month, I decided to just look at the world through my own eyes and no one else's. And you've got 9 songs that reflect my view of the modern world. And those who have studied the lyrics so far tend to be saying, I agree with you, it's really like that, you know. There's a lot of people who are not very happy anymore. It's a mediocre level we're reaching now, the dumbing down. We've got kids, I've got 2 kids in their mid-20s. I've tried to teach them a good way. There is the other way, which is to leave your kids staring at a screen of some sort all their lives. Once they're off the BlackBerry or the iPod, it's to a computer screen, and then a TV screen, and then back again. Well, if you just look at screens all the time and never read a book, you find their IQs are getting lower and lower. I do it with my kids, are both graduates. I'm not a graduate. My wife is not a graduate. But their general knowledge, I tell you, is just not a quarter, a fifth of mine or my wife's, their mum and dad. Not a fifth. And things they don't know, I certainly knew at their age. It's just an observation. It's just an observation. But the standard to education, or whatever it is, domestic education as much as anything, seems to have just dumbed down a lot.
Well, Steve, thanks very much for taking a few minutes out of your time to chat to us.
It's quite a cheerful album anyway. You know? In spite of that, it has its light moments.
That's fine. And we'll wrap up by mentioning the album again. Give us the title of it again. And obviously available from all good record shops. And
it's available everywhere. HMV, good record shops, and of course,
yes,
on the internet.
Yeah. And what's your website?
steveharley.com. It's there, but it's on all of them. Yeah, it's around.
Brilliant.
Come in and see us.
Make us smile.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, Steve, lovely to meet you. And
my pleasure, Gary.
I hope you have a great time here in Belfast.
Pleasure, thank you. Real pleasure.